Mad Wine Chemist here. It's our first episode of Group Therapy with Mad Wine Chemist. I call it Group Therapy because we're going to all get together, drink some wine, talk about wine, life, business. And today, our first guest ever is Alyssa Paul. She is an artist in the Houston area. Alyssa, where can people find you and your information?
Okay, so people can find me on Twitter at LissyLiss, but that's LISSIELYS. Also on Instagram at the same address. And Facebook, you can find me at BAP Creative.
Yes, so Alyssa does great work. We've done a couple of events together. We did my very first wine tasting I did with Alyssa down at 500 Crawford. We packed the place out.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
She sold a lot of paintings. I sold a lot of wine. It was a great time. But Alyssa brought some wine for us to try today.
Yeah.
So if you want to go ahead and crack it open and explain it for us, why you picked this wine.
Why I picked this wine. I picked this wine. This is Cupcake Vineyards Moscato d'Asti. It is super sweet, just like me.
Here, I'll hold your glass.
All right, sweet. It's just nice. It's just a good
sweet dessert wine.
It is a
chill
good
wine.
Absolutely.
I'm excited. I haven't tasted this before, but I've heard a lot about Cupcake. They have some interesting wines.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
It's really fruity. It's
really fruity. Like a lot of like a little bit of citrus.
Ooh. So you can tell the notes. I'm like, it's fruity. It's wine. It's good.
Well, you're the wine taster for your average person. I'm the one, well, a little bit more experienced, but yeah, this is definitely good. Definitely something I would add to the collection.
For sure.
So where'd you pick that one up at?
I got it at HEB.
Oh, HEB has a great wine selection.
They do. They also have a great line selection of your wines.
Oh yeah. They have. We're in 12 HEB stores, which is really cool. You know.
That's the coolest thing to me.
Yeah, we've been grinding since 2018. Yeah, so we've been grinding together since 2018, and I really wanted Alyssa to be the first person on my podcast. She's the first person I worked with, so you know, let's get to talking about these paintings and what you do. And
so I have here, this is an actual painting. I do a lot of digital work, but this is actually like acrylic painting. And it's just a portrait. Like I love doing like physical black and white paintings. They're just really emotive to me. I feel like it really just, you can capture a lot of like a person's personality through a black and white painting, very much like a black and white photo. And so this is of actress Leighton Meester from Gossip Girl. But I just really like this photo of her, and so I recreated it. But I also do a lot of digital paintings as well, which are a little bit easier to do because you can kind of reproduce them more than just, you know, analog paintings. But I love to do a lot of sports related things too. So when we did our first show together, it was at 500 Crawford, and I had a ton of Astros stuff. So that was the year they were doing the stair.
Yes.
And so I had one of all of them, and oh my god, I sold that one like immediately. And that's the cool thing about the digital paintings is that I can reprint them as much as I want. So if somebody wants something, it's like, oh, I don't have to recreate it immediately, like physically. Like I can just print it out and frame it and mat it and send it to them. And I do a lot of commissions and stuff. I did this one really cool commission of this guy's kid with Bregman. It was a really cute picture, and I was like, this is like a perfect like marrying of the things that I love to do, painting pictures of the Astros and doing commissions for people with their own family. So
yeah, so give us a little bit of history. How did you get into making art and doing art and picking it up? Was it a hobby? How'd you get started?
It was a hobby. My grandmother was an artist. She was a painter. And when I was probably maybe 3 or 4, she gave me an art book, like a book on all kinds of different painters and artists and draftsmen, and it just, I really fell in love with it. Like, as soon as I could pick up a writing utensil, like a pencil, pen, whatever, I started drawing. And I've done it for like as long as I can remember, honestly. And I used to get in trouble during school so much for just doodling, just all the time. Like, I'd not be listening at all, and I'd just be drawing. I used to draw a lot of anime when I was in middle school. They used to be like, I used to come home with like just all these pictures that I drew, and my mom would be like, so, but where's your homework? Like, where's your schoolwork? Are you working on that? And I'm like, yeah, totally, absolutely. But yeah, so I started with that, and then throughout school and stuff, I just really really excelled in artistic and the creative subjects. So when I went off to college, I decided to do graphic design, because it was kind of like, my mom told me, she was like, yeah, a finance degree would be great, but you need something that's more marketable or whatever. And I was kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. But I actually ended up really liking doing graphic design, because it was like a little bit, you have a lot more freedom when you're working with digital elements. You can just basically do anything that comes to your mind, and you can recreate, like, I have digital paintings that I've done that look like actual paintings. So the brushes that you use, you can get like oil effects from them. You can mix stuff, and like even brushes where, okay, let's say that you paint a color or whatever, and you want to use another color. So he picks up the color, and it'll even have like, if you mix those two colors together. So it's really cool. It's like, it's very realistic the way that you can get things to work like that. And so yeah, so I did that in college. I went to Sam Houston for graphic design. And then for a while I kind of was focused more on doing music stuff. I kind of
I did
the art stuff for a little while, but then I left school and I went to do music stuff. I have an album on iTunes, you can check it out. It's under Alyssa Rubich, Rubich. It wasn't until I started working for Chanel as a makeup artist that I really started getting more into physical art again and fine arts. And I started just doing for fun the Astros pictures, just doodling them and drawing them for fun. And I posted them on my Twitter, and at that time I had a pretty decent Twitter following, and people went nuts for them. They were just obsessed with them. And I was like, people were clamoring they're like, where can I buy this? Can I have this? And I'm like, let me figure it out, because I would love to sell this to you. And so, yeah, so then I just started getting more and more commissions from people. People were like, I need this, I need that. I remember, I think my first commission that I ever got was a picture of Charlie Morton during Game 7 of the World Series. Someone wanted me to paint that for them, and I did. That was like my first commission. That was really cool. So yeah, and so now I'm just keep grinding, keep doing different stuff and trying out different techniques and everything. And
I mean, your artwork is great.
Thank you.
My uncle has the George Springer in LA home run.
Yes.
Yeah, he was like at the show with us, the first show.
Yep.
And my aunt wanted a painting. He was like, "You can get that painting if I can get this painting." So yeah, so it's pretty cool to see your growth as an artist.
Thank you.
From the time that I've known you, is great. You know, I was seeing all your followers on Twitter, picking up your artwork and talking to you and like sharing and all your artwork and everything out there. But I mean, for someone that's just getting into, you know, art and trying to take that next step to doing, you know, commissions or getting their art out there, what would you tell someone that's just getting into the space?
Let's just get into it. Just try not to limit yourself to one specific thing. Like, even if you're just pushing yourself, like you feel like oh, I just want to do this. Like, try to play around with different elements of art. So I kind of got in a rut where I was just doing the sports stuff. And I was like, you know what? I really want to go back to my roots and do like physical paintings again. And I did. And I was kind of scared doing it because I hadn't done it in a long time. And I did this Berlander painting that turned out absolutely amazing. I was like,
I remember that one.
It was so good. It was so good. And I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that I made that with my own hands. And so, just don't be afraid to try different things and pick up old things that you thought like, oh, I'm past that now. I don't want to do that anymore. Try it again, because you never know. Like when I was growing up, I actually took a painting class like in high school, and I was terrible at it. I was awful. I was terrible. I swear to God, I was terrible at it. And I was like, I'm never painting again. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to draw, just use charcoal or graphite or whatever. And once I got to college, I took an actual painting class in college, and I was like, oh, wait a second. Like, this actually makes more sense. It's like I was just doing a dumb high school class, and that's why I was terrible at it. And then I get to college, and I get some actual, like, real instruction on it. And I'm like, okay, this makes sense. I've figured this out. So, yeah, just play around with that, and don't be afraid to do different subjects. And because I do a lot of people. I really love drawing people, painting people, but don't pigeonhole yourself in one thing. Like I do a lot of pet portraits and stuff too. People really love the way that pet portraits come out, because you can really, just like with regular people portraits, you can really capture the personality of an animal. And for me, it's always in the eyes. Like, as long as you got the eyes right, that's all you need. Like, the rest can look completely jacked, but if you have the eyes right, you capture the personality. So, that's about what.
That's your advice.
That's my advice. That's my advice.
Yeah. So, me and Alyssa, we met through Twitter. I was posting my winemaking videos, and she was posting her paintings, and we just kind of like connected over our love for the Astros. And we were talking in the pre-show about what do we want to talk about on the podcast, and one thing we wanted to talk about was Astros. And like a lot of the ladies on Twitter, we had like a group chat, and just like you make really good friends on Astros Twitter. Shout out to all the ladies.
Yes. Shout out to Astros Twitter ladies group chat. Like, it is amazing the people that the friendships and the relationships that you can cultivate through social media. Like, it's nuts to me. Some of my best friends in the world that like I know have my back, would take a bullet for me, are from Twitter.
Right.
Like, for real. Like, my ride or dies are from the internet. And like, I remember growing up, your parents were like, those people aren't real. Like, they're not. Don't talk to strangers on the internet.
Don't talk to strangers on the internet.
Exactly.
I mean, one lives in a couple buildings away from me, and like now we're like every Tuesday going to eat crawfish and drink beer, and we have each other's back. Like, I didn't expect that from Astros Twitter. I mean, and it just seems like everybody got closer after 2017.
Oh yes.
Yeah, like Astros Twitter is so awesome.
It really is.
They really pushed me to be, get out there and do more with my wine, and I wouldn't be where I am if it weren't for them. So,
Exact same. I mean, and they really do. They're so supportive. Like, they're more supportive of me than people I've known for 20 years. Like, I mean, I had people, I remember when we did our first show, I had multiple people from Astros Twitter show up. And like, I've never seen them before in my life. And like, I post a lot of pictures of myself, so people know what I look like. But other people may not really do the same because they're not crazy like me. So when they showed up, they'd be like, oh yeah, hey, listen. I'm like, hi, person I've never met before. Yes. And it's like, but once they like tell you, oh, I'm so-and-so from Twitter or whatever, like, and then it clicks and you're like, oh, yes.
Please don't tell me your first name. I need your Twitter handle.
Your Twitter handle.
Like, if you're going to walk up to me and like, hey, Mad Wine Chemist, I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, I'm going to say hey.
Exactly, yeah.
I might look a little scared because I don't know who you are.
Stranger danger,
but once you give me your Twitter handle, I'm like, what's up?
I know exactly who you are.
Oh, can I get some more wine?
Absolutely.
This is definitely good. This is definitely good? Yes.
I can kill a bottle of this by myself. And
oh yes, this is a great bottle to bring.
It's a nice, like, it's a good summery wine too. It's good.
Yeah, it's light.
It's light.
It's not super heavy like some sweet wines can be. Like sometimes sweet wines can be extra heavy because of all of the sugar that's in them. And yeah, no, I don't have that issue with this one. This was great. Definitely gonna put a link in the description about this wine, more details. Definitely gonna recommend sipping on this with us while you watch our podcast or listen to our podcast. But let's talk a little Astros.
Let's do it.
We all know about the cheating scandal and we weren't the only ones, and you know all that yada yada yada.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
All that good stuff.
What's your one controversial take in baseball?
My controversial take.
What's your one?
It's my favorite controversial take is that Mike Trout ain't nothing. Mike Trout ain't nothing. He ain't it.
So please go into more detail about why Mike Trout is not it.
He's not it. He is not the thesis. Okay. Mike Trout, here's the thing. Is that to me, I feel like you could be the best player in the world, but if you don't have any wins in the postseason, it's just a win. If you don't have any games in the postseason under your belt, what are you doing here? Like, and like I understand like the loyalty to the Angels and everything when he re-signed with them and stuff like that, but again, I feel like it's crazy that you would be this talented and you're just fine being on an 81 team. If I mean that would be a good record for them this year, but just being on a mediocre team and just not. I mean, I have a problem with the Angels and their mediocrity and just in general, but I mean. Everyone's like, oh, Mike Trout's the player of our generation and everything. And I'm like, he may be that, but if he doesn't have a ring, like, what is that? That's like the caliber of, I mean, that's the marker of a true champion is a ring. And he ain't never going to get one. Especially not with the Angels. No, not the Angels.
I mean, like, they have hitters. They have Ohtani and they have
Rodon. They have,
They've even had hitters before. It's just like, where's your pitching at? You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
You invest in Ohtani, he's a great pitcher for you, but he only pitches once every 5 days.
Exactly.
Like, so, like, I get it. Like, I really want the Astros to have competition, man. Like,
that's the thing, though. Yeah, exactly. It's like right now the AL East is just, the AL West.
It's just Astros.
It's just Astros. Like everyone else is like fighting to make it to 500, and we're just like killing it.
And then every other month we get every other month there's a challenge from the Mariners. You know?
Oh yeah.
Like one month they suck, and then next month they're like good. Like they go on like a 15-game winning streak. You know, but you know,
but it never sticks. It never sticks.
And they always do like 30 trades.
Yeah.
Like what?
And you're like, but that's not helping you. Like you need to do something different.
Like, I'm just like, okay, there's been a bunch of books written about how the Astros got where they are, and I'm surprised more people aren't following that.
But I also think that one of the things, though, is that the Angels have some really good players. But it shows you that the clubhouse mentality and the feel and the camaraderie that you have with your team really, like, I feel like makes or breaks a team. Because again, you can have some of the best players in the game, but you're not winning games because it's not a family. It's not, you get that like Olive Garden. When you're here, your family, you get that feel from the Astros. Like,
yeah.
Even just as a fan. Whereas I feel like you don't feel that
from other teams.
No, you don't feel that from other teams. I mean, like,
but maybe we're not seeing it because they're not at home. Like, maybe the Astros are different on the road than they are at home, you know?
True.
But, I mean, 17 was just a magical year.
It really was.
It really motivated me to step out and just, like, take that leap. Like, I just watched these guys achieve their lifelong dream. Like, why can't I?
Exactly.
Like, I was like, you know what? I need to stop sitting around the house and dreaming about owning a winery. Let's just go do it. You know, and no matter what happens, I tried. I did my best. You know, so...
Exactly.
17 was magical all around. Like, really everybody got clothes. Like, Astros Twitter got extra clothes. And,
oh, yeah.
You know, we had Harvey. It was great. But, you know, and then, you know, you get the cheating scandal. And it just seemed like, instead of, like, breaking us apart, it made us even closer.
It really did.
Like everybody just keep booing.
It's like, yeah, just keep booing. Every time you boo Altuve, he just hits a dinger right into the stand. And yeah, no, I mean, it really does. And like you were saying about it kind of motivated you to go out on your own. It actually, my partner and I, we quit our regular jobs in like February, March of 2018 to start our own business. So it's called BAP Technology, and we refurbish computers that we buy in lots from places like schools or police departments, and so it's like a green business. So we recycle these computers and all this stuff, so and sell them at affordable prices so that people that can't afford brand new stuff can get a good product that's maybe like has a ding here or there, but you know, we fix them up. We bouge them up a little bit, you know. We put a 256 RAM in there. That's something I know. I don't put the stuff in the computers, clearly.
You're the support group.
I'm the support, and I clean the computers. But yeah, my partner Ben, Paul, my husband, he's really the one that was like, no, I believe in this and I believe in our vision for this, and he really supports me with the art stuff too. And so that's like, it's kind of a tandem business. So we have the technology side, and then we have the creative side, which is me and selling my art and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it was definitely like, all right, we're gonna quit our regular jobs and jump into this and just see what happens.
Yes. So it's been great. I think we did our time today.
Yeah.
So catch us next week on Group Therapy with Mad Wine Chemist. Check out Alyssa Paul and all of her amazing creative things she does. Excuse me. I'm gonna provide links in the bio for you to connect with Alyssa and follow her journey. And again, check out the Cupcake Winery's Moscato. It's delicious.
It's good.
And check you guys next time.